Hello everyone, Legend of Eon here, and I've got for you guys a little bit of a different video. This is the Pauper League. You're going to be seeing some deck lists that are 5-0s, and yeah, we'll get into it. Alright, this one's by Jafilipi77. Jafilipi? Looks like this is a Rakdos, like, Madness Burn deck. I start off with Kitchen Imps, which is really strong. Sneaky Snackers. You get the Feral, which is really strong. Storm Shriek Feral. You discard a card. If you do, draw 2 cards, and then you shuffle this card back into the deck. And of course, you got the Voltaren Epicures. And then you've got the Fiery Tempers, Lightning Bolts. For the sorceries, you got Elms of Vein, Faithless Looting, Grab the Prize, really strong card. Vampire Kiss, so dealing a lot of damage with these guys. Lands, you got 2 Pajigo Bogs, you got Jagged Barrens, 8 Mountains, the Rakdos Bounce Land, the Carnarium. You bounce the deal 1 damage, or you can hit your opponent's graveyard, which is really strong. The sideboard, you got Cast in the Fire, Dark Withering, Electrickery, extract a confession, so make your opponent sacrifice creatures, like maybe vocal matchups, or also like blue terror, and then the heal spell barms. All right, Natalino. Let's see. This is not necessarily a dredge deck, but they definitely have dredge in here. But it's another like burn deck essentially. So you got Greater Moss Dog, Lawful Giant, which is the main win condition of this deck, but it's not the only one. You've got Molten Keeper, which deals extra damage when you play a creature, and then the Scrapwork Mutt. Sneaky Snackers, again, and we got Stinkweed Imp to be able to mill a bunch of cards. We've got the Storm Shake Feral again to be able to just draw more cards and then use them for Sneaky Snackers, and of course the Voltaren Epicures. Sorceries, we got Burning Inquiry to draw a bunch of cards, and then Cathartic Reunion, Dread Return, which is to bring back the Lawful Giant. Usually it's the main win condition, and then the Faithless Looting is again to be able to bring back your Sneaky Snackers. Lands, we got Conduit Pylons, and then the 14 Mountains. For the sideboard, you got Fairy Macabre for Graveyard Hate, Fen Dragon, which is a board wipe, which is really good, mostly for like Elves. Flaring Pains for like Turbo Fog, Pyroblast, and then Siege Smash, which is actually a great card. It's a split second card. You destroy artifacts so it can't be countered. It's amazing. Alright, you got the Brands Branzado Pilomato. Okay, looks like this is a mono blue fairies. You've got the Intruder, which has got Flash, and then you'll be able to bring it back with the ninjas, which is really good. Fairy Miscreant, a bit on draw cards, and then Fairy Seers, really good because, Scry. This is a new card that I've seen. There's another new card in here too, but it just gives you incremental value in the long game, which is great. You got your ninjas, your other ninjas, and this is a new card as well. It's got Flash backup, and it's also got Hexproof, so pretty cool. Spellsetter Sprites, of course, really strong card. You got counter spells, dispels, 4 spikes, 3 snaps, and then 18 islands, and of 1 mine. I think this is not a human. Okay, so it looks like just these are the only humans, so it's a cost 1 mana to draw, 2 cards. It's insane. Sideboards, you got Annuls, Bind the Monster. You'll take some damage, but then the monster won't be able to untap. You got Blue Blast, Dispel, Hydroblast, Steel Sabotage, and then Unable Scream. Another card to be able to make your opponent can't untap, so pretty cool. Alright, you got Marzo. Looks like this is a elf deck. 2 Avenging Hunters, I think I disagree with. Definitely should be more in here, but we do see more on the sideboard. You got 4 Elf Mystic, 1 Finhorn Elves, interesting. 4 Generous, and I mean this is a 5-0, so they got it. 4 Llanowar Elves, 4 Masked Vandals, 4 Nyxborn Hydra, really strong card. You have so much mana, so you're able to sink just a bunch of mana into this guy and make him just super huge, and then it makes it really hard for your opponent to even do anything. And then on top of that, it's got Bestow. On top of that, it's got Bestow, so it's going to be able to be a huge creature too, so it's awesome. Priest of Titania, 4 Corn Rangers, 3 Saju Wildlings to be able to search for your forest, But if you have enough mana, just normally just dump it. So it's really cool. 14 more Watch Elves, and then 2 Well-Wishers, 12 Forest, 4 lead span speeds to be able to search for your creatures, and then 4 Winding Ways to also search for creatures. For the sideboards, you have the 2 Avenging Hunters, which is here. So you got 2 in the main board, 2 in the sideboard, 3 Fair Macabre, to be able to get rid of graveyard stuff. Monsters Emerge to be able to deal damage using your Avenging Hunters, which is pretty cool. Yeah. And then you've got this card, which is a newer card that I've seen in the sideboard to be 2 Ghazi Inspector. So to be able to have evidence is really nice, and they give it a plus encounter on a creature you control. So you can either do on this or Avenging Hunter or whatever other creature. But normally on this card, it becomes a 2/4, and it's got Reach, which is insane. Yeah, the Reach is crazy. And then you've got the Web Weaver Changeling. It's 5 mana, 3/5. So against decks that are going to be siding against this using board wipes, when this card enters, if there are 3 or more creature cards in your graveyard, you gain 5 life, and it's just got Reach. So pretty cool. All right, Lumini. Looks like it's another Dredge deck. I think it's a Spy deck actually. So wow, 5/0. Awesome. Congrats. 4 Lotus Petals. You've got the Balustrade Spy. Cool. So you're dumping everything. And then you've got this card. Be able to kind of look through your deck and then search for a specific card that you need. Really cool. Gatekeeper Vine. Search for just lands. Cool. Generous Ant. Also search for lands. Loftstep Giant, which is the main win condition of the deck to bring them back with Dread Return. You got Masked Vandals. You can have a lot of targets in your graveyard. Mesmeric Fiend for control matchups. Overgrown Battlement just adds more mana for each defender you control. So I think that this one's also counts as a defender. Yeah, it does. You got Corner Ranger to be able to bounce these guys and then be able to use them again. Target Wildings to be able to search for more mana. So really crucial. And then you've got your Lotus Petals to be able to do that also. You got that Caretaker. You can tap your other creatures, so you can like tap your Corn Rangers and this card to add mana, which is great. And you can use it to like cycle your Troll Casa Doom or your Generous Ent, which is great. Wall of Roots, 2 forests, 2 swamps. For sorceries, you got Dead Return, so to bring back your Loftstep Giant, which is great. Land Grant, and then Lead the Stampede, or you can also bring back your Spy too. Lead the Stampede, Winding Ways to search for your creatures that you need. So really cool, awesome list. Caustic Caterpillar to get rid of your opponents, like just I guess more of because you've got the Master Vandal on the main board to get rid of their like artifact stuff, like artifact hate or grave hate essentially. So yeah, more of those. Fairy Macabres, Flaring Pain, Mesmeric Fiend against more control matchups. And then this card again, which is really sick. And then Weather the Storm. Gain more life. Sweet. Entropete 5/0 list. Looks like it's a Black Sacrifice, I think. You got Cursed Marauder, which is a new card in Modern Horizons, I think. A really cool card actually, because your opponent can't sacrifice like non-token creatures, so they have to sacrifice a real creature, which is great. You got the Vampire, so that's a sack outlet, which is great. And you got Carrion Feeder, makes it really huge. Your opponent has to deal with it, otherwise it's just a huge creature that you can't get rid of. You got some sack outlets for this guy, so when it dies, it replays itself, and then whenever a player sacrifices a creature, you put a plus counter on this beetle, so pretty cool. And then this card is pretty nice because if you can pump this card somehow, you get more green squirrel tokens, so pretty sweet. Nezumi, when it dies, it replaces itself. And then you got statistically, whenever a creature is sacrificed, or whenever you sacrifice a creature, you put a plus counter on it, so pretty sweet. You got 3 Snuff Outs, 4 Supernatural Stamina, so be able to bring back anything that you sacrificed. It's insane. 17 Swamps. You got Right of Consumption, which is great. And then you got Unearth, which is also a great card, bring back anything. Sideboards, you got Accursed Marauders, and you got Drown in Sorrow, Mesmeric Fiend, Inhale Spell Bombs, 2 Rotten Reunions, which is pretty cool. It's got Flashback as well, so yeah, just exile anything from the graveyard. And then you've got the Life Staff, which is pretty cool. Silverwalk Life Staff. Whenever a creature dies, you just gain 3 life, so gain some incremental value over time. Tragic Slip, I think this card should be in the main board, just like removal, but I guess it can make sense for this card to be in the sideboard. Then you got the Vampiric Link, so it gains life. Whenever a creature deals damage, you gain that much life. So yeah, pretty much life link. All right, Vini Torres. Looks like this is like mono red burn, I think, but it's also like a mono red sneaky snackers. So, all right, you got Gunner Snipe, Kiss of Flamebringer, so being able to deal damage to your opponent. Sneaky snackers again, Voltaren Epicure, so definitely mono red madness. You got Fiery Temper, you got 3 Fire Blasts, Lava Darts, and 4 Lightning Bolts. We got Faithless Lootings, Guide the Prize, again, strong card, and Highway Robbery, which is another card that's really, really good too. So yeah, these two are really strong. And then 18 Mountains. For the sideboard, you got Cast in the Fire and the Festivities, which is a one-sided by Board Wipe, it's pretty cool. Pyroblast, and you got 2 red elemental blasts. Graveyard Hate, and then Searing Blazes to be able to deal damage to your opponent's creature and also to their life. So yeah, pretty sweet list. You got we got here Yahakara. Yahakara. All right, so looks like this is an artifact deck. So you got Black Mage's Rod, Blood Fountain, Icarwell Springs, and Hell Spellbomb. And then we've got Clark Kent Shamans who just kind of help board wipe. And you got Mirror Enforcer and Refurbished Familiar, which is a great card in this deck. So I think this is blue, black, red. Yeah, blue, black, red. Yeah. Makeshift Munitions, 1 Cast Down, 4 Galvanic Blasts, 4 Reckoner's Bargain. It's a really strong card because you can sacrifice your Mirror Enforcer and gain 7 life. Toxin Analysis, target creature gets Knife Touch and lifelink, so if you could put on this card or this one, just try to gain some life, which is pretty sweet. Sorcery, we've got Cleansing Wildfire, and then we've got 4 Thought Cast. For the bridges, you've got the Wildfire to be able to hit one of your bridges, and then search for your island or swamp. Furnace, you've got the other bridge here, Seed of Cyanod, the Sulphur Bridge, and then 4 Vault of Whispers. For the sideboard here, you got Breath Weapon, and then you got 2 more Cleansing Wildfires, 4 Duresses, 4 Hydroblast, and 4 Pyroblasts. I think that the extra Cleansing Wildfires might be for like maybe like Gruul Ramp or also like Tron, so like hitting their lands is nice. All right, we've got a Bijavs. All right, looks like this is a blue-black control. So we've got Dover Secrets here. 2 Murmuring Mystics, really strong card. Making a bunch of 1/1 Bluebird flying tokens. It's crazy. Thorn on the Black Rose, really strong card, gives you the Monarch. We got Tolarian Terror. Got 4 Brainstorms, 3 Cast Downs, 4 Counter Spells, 1 Dispel, great card. 4 Snuff Outs, 2 Spell Pierce, 1 Suffocating Fumes, which is really strong, and then Unexpected Fangs. So you're probably putting it on Tolarian Terror because it's got Ward 2, and then gaining life is just really strong. For the sorceries, you got Extract Confession, so again, make your opponent sacrifice, and then 4 Forlorn Fields, and then Ponder. Land cards, you got Pajika Bog, Ice Tunnels, 2 Fixed Lands, 11 Islands, 1 Seething Landscape, so this is probably for the Brainstorm, to be able to kind of like shuffle, and then 1 Swamp. For the sideboards, you got the Alms of Hadar, so this is a board wipe. Blue Elemental Blast, 1 another Extract Confession, 4 Hydroblast, 2 Nihil Spell Bombs, 1 Rotten Reunion, again to be able to exile a specific card in the graveyard, which is really good. And you create a 2/2 zombie, and then it's got Flashback. And then Steel Sabotage, another Thorn of the Black Rose, just for like slower matchups, maybe like Control also. So really cool. And another Unexpected Fangs for maybe like burn matchups. So, all right, we got Wabu Dabo. Wabu Dabu. All right, so it looks like it's another elf deck. You got 4 Avenging Hunters, which I think is correct. 3 Elvish Mystics, 3 Finhorn Elves, which I think is also correct. We've got 4 Generous Ent, Three Llanowar Elves, four Masked Vandals, which is right, and then of course the Nyxborn Hydras, which again is a new addition to the deck. So the Avenging Hunters and then Nyxborn Hydras is the new additions that I've been seeing a lot of play, and the Elves has been coming up because of it. So yeah, ramping into it is great. Priest of Titania, four Corin Rangers, four Timberwatch Elves, and two Well-Wishers, and then 13 Forests, which I think is also correct. I think 12 is a little, I don't know, it just feels like it's not that much. The other list that we're playing, the dragon, the Hydra Dragon. I forgot how it's called. But you're able to search for the forest also, and then it shuffles back into the deck. Or you can also just pay 5 mana. It's a 3/3 flyer, gains you 3 life. I think that's also strong. 4 Laid the Stampede, and then 4 Winding Ways. Sideboard, you got Gingerbread Cabin. You can use the Corner Ranger to bounce your Timberwatch Elves, for example. And then you can bounce your Gingerbread Cabin and then replay it again. Monsters Emerge. Pretty much you can use this with your Avenging Hunter. You'll 5 damage to a creature, which is insane. Pulse of Marasa, just bring back any creature you need. Spine Paladin. You can plot this card, but mostly it's got trample, so it'll be able to just deal a bunch of damage, which is really strong. And then you got the Inspector again. So yeah, again, having that reach is really nice, especially for like the flying decks, especially like the mono blue decks have flying. We've got Burvenix. Burvenix. All right, so we got Augur Bolas. Looks like this is is it? Augur Bolas. We got Crimson Fleet. Gives you the Monarch. We got Fairy Seers. We got one ninja here, the Moon Circuit Hacker. One Mermaid Mystic. The other ninjas that they're filling up is the Deep Hours. One Elephant to be able to search for just whatever lands you need, and then the Spell Center Sprites. And since 3 Brainstorms, I think that's wrong. I don't know. I mean, this person 5-0, so yeah, just Brainstorm, counter spells, 3 Lightning Bolts, 4 Shreds, and the Spell Pierce. Sorceries, you got Demon Farrier, 4 Alarm Revealed, and then 2 Ponders. And then the other cards is Fire and Ice. Ice, you just tap a creature, and then the Ice, you does 1 damage to deal 2 damage divided to any number of creatures. And then lands, you got Seething Landscapes, again, that's for the Brainstorms. And then you've got the Elephant to also do pair with Brainstorm. 10 Snow-Covered Islands, 2 Snow-Covered Mountains, and then the Fjord Fixture Lands. And we got Sideboard, Cast into the Fire, Crimson Fleet, another one to be able to just, I guess, just be able to just control the board and just draw more cards, which is great. And then you got another Demon Farrier, 2 Dispels, 1 Fiery Cannonade, 1 Gorilla Shaman, which is very interesting. I think I like this card a lot. It's an older card. Hydroblast, 1 Pyroblast, and then 2 Relic Progenitus for Graveyard Hate. Alright, we got Albaz. All right, looks like this is a blue-white control, Mikage, I think. No, never mind. It's blue-white control. You got Arcanomancers, 3 of them. We got 4 God Pharaoh's Gift, 4 God Pharaoh's Faithful, 3 Mold Drifters, really strong cards, giving you just a lot of value. 2 Memory Mystics, again, another card that's also really strong in this deck, and 2 CK Oracles, and then the Familiars. So, yeah. 2 Ephemerates, 2 Ghostly Flickers. Meeting of Minds is not necessarily a new card, but it's a new card in this deck, I think, because it's got Convoke, so you can use your Familiars and these guys that come into play when you flicker them, and then you can just tap them out and draw 2 cards. So intentionally just cut for 1 mana, which is amazing. 2 Negates, 2 Prohibits, 4 Snaps, 1 Thraben Charm. I think that this card should be bumped up to like 2 or 3 because of all of the decks that are running right now. There's just so much Grave synergy, but yeah. But this person 5-0, so 4 Lorn Revealed and 4 Preordains. For the lands, you got the Chancery, the Azorius Chancery, and you got the Landscapes. Just be able to search for just lands that you need. And then you got Idyllic Beachfront, 8 Islands, Mortuary Mire, to be able to just look for just specific cards that you need to put back in top of the deck, which is great. 2 Plains. For the sideboard, you got Circle of Protection, Dust to Dust, Envelope, which is really cool because the Madness Burn decks, they usually have sorcery speeds that yeah, sorcery cards. Sorry, that will activate, like for example, like faithless looting. Yeah, you definitely want to counter that. Essence Scatter, Hydroblast, Last Breath, Negate, and then the other Thraben Charm that's in the sideboard here. So, all right, cool. We've got Grimflayer Burr, BR, Grimflayer Burr. Looks like this one is a this one is a Kage deck. I can see the cat. All right, we got two Guardian of the Guild pack. Super strong card. Pretty much is unblockable, and then your opponent can't even remove it. So once this card is established on the board, your opponent is just pretty much dead. We got three Outlaw Medic, a great card. Sacred Cat, another great card. Squadron Hawk, busted card. You got Journey to Now Here, or Nowhere. You got Modern Age. Usually you use Modern Age to discard Prismatic Strands. You got 4 Brainstorms, 2 counter spells. Again, the Prismatic Strands is great. Spell Pierce, and then you got Thraben Charms. So yeah, I think the Thraben Charms is correct. And then you've got Lauren Reveal, which is great for the Brainstorms. Yeah, Azorius Skill Gate, Basilisk Gate, Citadel Gate, the Heap Gate, Idyllic Gate, Idyllic Beachfront, sorry, 3 islands, and then 4 Sea Gate. So a lot of tap lands, so a little bit of slow deck, but you're able to gain a lot of value. It's a mid-range deck, so it's really cool. Sideboard, you got Blue Elemental Blast, you got Breath Weapon. Because of like these gates, you can pick the different colors that you want, which is really sweet. So your sideboard can always just change a little bit, so it's pretty sweet. You've got the Honor Guard, so if your opponent were to target anything, like to try to get rid of your creatures with like a bolt or something, they had to target this card instead, which is really cool. 2 counter spells, Dust to Dust, Hydroblast, and then Red Elemental Blast. Sweet. We've got Shib. Looks like this is the last deck, so cool. Thanks for bearing with me. If you like, please like and subscribe. All right. We've got 4 Avenging Hunters, which I think is correct. 3 Elvish Mystic, 3 Finhorn Elves, 4 Generous Ent. You go search for your lands, or just play it if you have enough lands or mana. 3 Lenore Elves, 4 Masked Vandals, Nyxborn Hydra. Again, really strong card. Priestess Titania, Corny Ranger, Timberwatch Elf, and then 2 Well-Wishers. 13 Forest, I think, is correct. 12, I feel like it's a little too, not enough. And then 14 is too much, so I think 13 is the right number. Lead the Stampede, 4 Winding Ways. And then for the sideboard, again, the Gingerbread Cabin, we're able to bounce back with Corny Ranger, and then replay it again, especially like against burn decks. They're pretty fast, but being able to establish your board first, and then, being able to gain some life is nice. Monsters Emerge, get rid of your opponent's stuff. Bolsa Marasa, so very similar to the other sideboard we had. Spinewood Paladins, and then the Ghazi Inspector. So B2 Ghazi Inspector. So yeah. All right, that is it. I hope you enjoyed bearing with me butchering these names, but I hope you enjoyed kind of seeing what people are playing. And yeah, this is the Pauper League.